Lee Summit is your destination for big city vibes and small town charm.
Head to the downtown Lee Summit Farmers Market, where local meets fresh. Then grab a cup of coffee and discover a variety of shops and boutiques just around the corner. Continue the fun in downtown Lee Summit at a retro arcade bar. Discover your new beer at one of our 6 locally owned breweries. Cool off with some handcrafted cocktails at happy hour. End the night with live music and good company. Lee Summit, Missouri.
Hello, Lee Summit. I'm Laura, and this is your flash briefing for the week of February 24th. City Council will meet for regular session Tuesday night, 6 in Council Chambers and City Hall. Meetings are open to the public or watched live on the city's YouTube channel. If you can't watch, catch the recorded meeting on demand on the YouTube channel or by subscribing to the Council Debrief newsletter, which breaks down 3 to 4 key agenda items. Subscribe at cityofls.net. The intersection of Southwest 3rd and Jefferson Streets is set to close today and will remain closed until early April. The closure is necessary for water main work and intersection improvements. For more information, visit cityofls.net. The city has partnered with the Community Blood Center for a blood drive on March 13th from 1 to 5 p.m. at Harris Park Community Center. Register today on the city's website. And Lee Summit Parks and Recreation launched a free mobile app. Sign up for fitness classes, purchase memberships, manage your account, and more. Get all the details at lsparks.net. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
So many of our past successes were made possible by understanding the multitude of perspectives in our community. When we take the time to see the world through someone else's eyes, we enrich our own understanding and foster an environment where everyone can thrive. When I see the renovations we've made to our parks, I see an investment not just in essential infrastructure, but in people that builds community and directly impacts the physical and social well-being of our residents.
I see equity, inclusive playgrounds where people from all walks of life can come together.
I see a place to play.
When I see the development we have helped facilitate in our community, I see the results of solution-oriented decision-making, with job opportunities, easier access to goods and services, housing options, improved infrastructure, and increased economic growth.
I see projects created through collaboration between the city and developers that will provide value, benefit, and opportunity to the Lee Summit community.
I see growth in community and a way to connect more people to their food.
When I see the major road improvements underway, I see well-connected and safe transportation that enhances mobility and increases access to local businesses, spurring economic growth, safe deliveries to homes, and happy trips to ball games and activities.
I see improved roadways, added sidewalks, and shared use paths for pedestrians and cyclists, safe transportation and recreation for all.
I see better connectivity, increased lanes, less congestion, and just make it easier to get around.
When I see the investments we've made in public safety, I see enhanced emergency preparedness and first responders who are ready on a moment's notice to protect the community and deliver immediate life-saving care.
I see the city value its fire department employees come to fruition in recruitment, retention, and a positive culture.
I see a community that can respond to emergencies quickly. My whole family lives in Lee Summit, so there's a lot of peace of mind there.
What we do is not just about making decisions and funding budgets. It's about enriching the quality of life for all of our residents. It's about realizing that a building is not just steel and concrete, a park is not just metal and ropes, a road is not just asphalt, and a city is not just land. It's about the experiences we provide to all people of all generations and backgrounds.
This is the best place to work.
I love working here.
I feel very blessed.
I love it here.
I look forward to coming to work every day, being a part of this team.
Like a family away from home.
Where everyone feels like everybody knows their name.
A city that supports you. We see that with our benefits.
A pension, vacation days, job security.
Being able to be heard.
We feel valued. We feel respected.
Lee Summit is a very progressive city.
It's growing, it's thriving.
We have this drive towards not just doing a job, but doing it with a spirit of excellence.
I had the opportunity to continue to grow, regardless of 30 plus years doing this kind of work.
It's more than just dollars and cents.
We're here really to give back.
Providing a service to better a community.
To go out and serve people.
To be a part of something bigger than yourself. If I would have known what I know now, years ago, I would have been here much sooner.
This month's Council Member Spotlight is all about Mayor Bill Baird. Check it out.
I have always volunteered in the community and I was always really involved, but then I ran for school board. Whenever I got done with my term, I just felt like I had more to give. It's always been my goal from day one is to get everyone in the community connected and working together, and I always called it a spirit of community. Well, Mayor's 24/7 and I have a job. I've had to work really hard at compartmentalizing, is what I call it. So during this time, I'm going to do work. During this time, I'm going to be mayor, even though I can get a call at any moment about mayor stuff. And so I've had to even work that much harder at setting aside time for myself or for family. So I like to exercise, I like to work out. Hillary's my wife. She actually goes to work out with me as well. And we do like to go downtown to the shops. We make sure we maximize our time together. I mean, I've got 2 kids as well, and we spend a lot of time with them, or whatever time they will give us these days. And I have a dog. I think most people kind of know me know I have to have a dog. We have so much development going on, and we're growing fairly quickly, so we have a lot of infrastructure needs, and sometimes we have gaps in infrastructure, and we've always managed to get by, but with this kind of growth, we're really having to be creative and look at our options and just have a good plan for water, sewer, roads, and more. If we want to grow the most healthy way, we need a diverse economy. We do have a lot of retail that's opened up here, and there's been new construction for retail. We really need to focus in the future on bringing some, well-paying jobs here, good, strong employers that want to be located in this incredible community of now 101,000 people. A lot of our workforce does commute to work still, so they leave Lee Summit to go to work, and it'd be nice if we could keep some of those citizens right here in our community. The times I feel most proud are actually when I'm in the community and I see the community come together.
We have Buddy in the house. Mr. Mayor!
The tree lighting is always very fun. I always feel very proud. It's just a great warm feeling. The same thing goes for when the council will do something and we come together and make a good decision together. There's been a few of those that you go home feeling like a winner. And one of them was when we put together the downtown farmers market, when we bought the land, and it became real, all that hard work. But also the Diversity and Inclusion Commission, that was months and months of discussions and conversations that were really hard to have, and we went ahead and moved forward and as a council all together, and I was very, very proud of that. And there are a few things that the citizens have done that have really helped us tremendously. First, in the middle of a pandemic, they passed a use tax, which is a way for us to collect sales tax whenever someone purchases online. That helps shore up our revenues so that we can continue to provide as high quality services that our city provides. And it helps us take care of our employees, it helps us with our public safety and more. So I can't be more thankful to the citizens for that. Lee Summit has the opportunity to have a major impact on the economy in the Kansas City area. We already, as an economy, are rolling along such a high median income. We have an amazing workforce here that are paying taxes, they're paying property taxes, they're paying sales taxes, they're keeping our economy rolling, and we really are getting the attention of all our neighbors. And I think that what's going to happen is you're going to see the opportunity for us to really get everybody's attention when businesses start moving here, bigger businesses and more so. You should try to find a way to give back to the community, whether it's at the city level, citizen committees, or just participating in some of our community conversations whenever we have those opportunities. It's worth coming out of your shell or taking that leap of faith and just showing up and saying, what can I do or how can I help? The more that we do this together, the more wonderful the community is.
I'd like to call to order the Lee Summit Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, February 27th, 2025. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mark Kitchens.
Present.
Sherry Frazier.
Present.
Jake Lovelace.
Present.
Dana Arth.
Present.
Terry Trafton.
Present.
Tanya Jonna Ford.
Present.
Chip Tazinski.
Present.
Brandy Benbrook.
Present.
Thank you. On the agenda, I'd like to move item 7, election of officers, up to the after, right before the public hearings. Or I guess, can I do it before I guess I can't do it before the approval of the consent agenda. So can we just move it up there? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Vice Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda. Second.
Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mark Kitchens. Sherry
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Jake Lovelace.
Yes.
Dana Arth.
Yes.
Terry Trafton.
Yes.
Tanya Jonna Ford.
Yes.
Chip Tazinski.
Yes.
Randy Benbrook.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now we have the election of the officers. Now that Mr. Funk has gone on to City Council, we have to get new officers in place, and we can take nominations for those positions now.
Vice Chair.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate you, Vice Chair Dana Arth, as to move into the chair position.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Then do we have a nomination for vice chair? Well, I'll nominate Mr. Trafton for vice chair. Second. Oh, okay. And then we need to do secretary.
Madam Chair, I would nominate Chip for secretary. Second.
Okay. Do we need to do the assistant secretary? Is that, did I imagine that?
No, that did exist at one time.
Yeah. So, so we need a nomination for
Yes.
that? Okay. So, does anybody want to,
I was thinking Randy. But
don't everybody fight over it?
Miss Vice Chair, I nominate Randy Benbrook as
I second that.
Assistant Vice Deputy Secretary.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, we didn't take any votes, did we? Or we? Yeah.
Vote them all as a slate.
Or does it matter?
So I think typically you would vote on each nomination separately, but if there seems to be agreement with everybody and you want to do it as a slate,
Okay.
it's
Right.
up to the chair how you proceed.
Let's do that. Okay, let's do it that way.
Mark Kitchens.
Yes.
Sherry Frazier.
Yes.
Jake Lovelace.
Yes.
Dana Arth.
Yes.
Terry Trafton.
Yes.
Tanya Jonna Ford.
Yes.
Chip Tazinski.
Yes.
Randy Benbrook.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so I guess we will move on to public comments. I don't see anyone here to make comments about the Planning Commission business in general. All right, so let's move on to the approval of the consent. We'll move.
I don't know if this is the time, but can I make a comment real quick?
Yep.
I just want to say thank you to former Chairman Funk for all the time he's devoted to the Planning Commission over the last 10 years. Is it? So that's a long time, and I know he's going to do a great job being on the city council, and he loves this city, and I know he's a very good guy, and I look forward to seeing the wonderful things that he does with the rest of the council. So I just wanted to say thank you to him, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Second.
Third
that.
I'll fourth it. All right, so we'll move to the approval, or to the consent agenda. We've got application PL 2024-288, sign application, Kansas City, Lee Summit Regional Airport, 2720 Northeast Hagen Road, Wellner Architects, Pleasant and plus engineers, applicant. And then we've got item 2025, or application PL 2024-193, sign application, express oil change, 200 Southwest Greenwich Drive, Midwest sign applicant. And then the approval of the January 23rd, 2025 Planning Commission action letter.
Newly elected chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, can we get a vote on that?
Mark Hitchens.
Yes.
Sherry Frazier.
Yes.
Jake Lovelace.
Yes.
Dana Arth.
Yes.
Terry Trafton.
Yes.
Tanya Jonna Ford.
Yes.
Chip Tazinski.
Yes.
Randy Benbrook.
Yes.
Okay. We'll move on to the public hearing part of
Can I
the,
make a comment?
Sure.
About the consent agenda? I should have done this before the vote, but I just wanted to point out, if you didn't know and notice, and I'm sure all the commissioners did, about the new Kansas City Lee Summit Regional Airport sign. That was really nice. I like that. I know it's large and in charge, but I think it projects a nice image for the community. So I appreciate all the work that the city staff and everybody has done on that. So thank you.
all right, so anyone planning to give testimony, and this is application PL 2024-302, preliminary development plan, express stop, convenience store, 3394 Northwest Village Park Drive, Engineering Solutions, LLC applicant. If anyone, well, you're all standing, so go ahead and be sworn in.
Ready?
Yes, we're ready.
All right, Matt Slish, Engineering Solutions, 50 Southeast 30th Street. The presentation is much briefer than last time. So it's the same presentation. We can go anything you have question-wise, but essentially we took direction from a month ago and heard that we needed to work on the elevations. So we worked with the owner, who's present this evening, the architect who's present this evening, and the city to come up with a plan that we think works with the character of the neighborhood. So you'll see the front elevation, the rear elevation, and then what would be the view high side elevation of the facility. So we're really here just kind of hear input with it, so we'll stand for any questions you guys may have and answer as needed.
Thank you.
Shannon McGuire, Planning Manager, please enter into the record Exhibit A, updated list of exhibits 1 through 16.
Enter Exhibit A 1 through 16, amended 1 through 16 into the record, please.
All right, so as the applicant stated, they did, we were previously here. You guys had voiced some concerns with regards to the architectural style and the materials. So staff, they had previously proposed this elevation here. It kind of had a butterfly roof. Excuse me, sorry. And then you guys had some concerns with the architectural style and the materials. We want to kind of help it blend a little bit better with the new Longview area that's just south of there. So staff did work with the applicant to kind of address those concerns. So we started by looking at, hey, what do we have in new Longview? It's a bit eclectic out there. We do have quite a bit of corporate architecture, some, I'd call modern reinterpretations of that historic storefront look. So we're kind of got a little bit of a mix. Materials is a mix as well. Anywhere from brick, stuccos, there's some lap siding. We do have some metal panel out there as well as some smooth stone, glass and whatnot. So we took a look at it and say, hey, what kind of overarching themes do we have, and what do we really want to pull out of that area? So we kind of identified, hey, a couple different things. The roof line, the colors, the style of the brick. So as you can see here, the new elevations really kind of draw on elements from multiple buildings throughout the new Longview area. So. So again, the updated elevations kind of remove that butterfly roof line, replace it with that flat roof line that you see more traditionally in the new Longview area in the commercial buildings. Updated that color palette to a more muted color palette that's more representative of what's found in the area. And then it updated the brick color to more of that traditional red as opposed to the black that was there previously. So. The gray Nietzsche Hall panels that was on the previous elevations have been replaced as well with a wood grain plank system in a more natural, older color tone, so it kind of blends in a little bit better as well. So with that, staff did update the conditions of approval. Basically, we just updated them to reflect the revised elevations that were submitted. So with the conditions of approval as outlined here and in the staff memo, the application does meet the goals of the Unite Comprehensive Plan and the requirements of the EDO, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Shannon. Do we have any public comments? Nope. All right, so I guess we'll turn it over to questions from the commission. Start down this way.
No questions from me, Chair. Thank you.
Chairman?
Yes, do you have questions?
No questions at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess I do have a question. It's regarding one of the elevations, the backside, particularly, I guess it'd be the north elevation. Was there any consideration to open that side up, since that would be the first that you would see coming down south? That might be more a question for the architect.
Yeah, there was some consideration. The back of house is all operational, so coolers, things like that, kitchen. So to open that up and put view corridors into that, I think wouldn't have been very appropriate. So we kept with kind of the solid panel infill, and that's the elevation that we have for there.
Okay, so is that the same reasoning for not opening up the east elevation, or I guess it'd be the west elevation?
Yeah, restroom corridors, things like that. Yep.
Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. I'll reserve my comments for the comment section.
Okay. Lovelace?
Staff, did we have an additional notice period on this for any neighbors that were affected, anything like that, as far as that this was going to be another planning commission date, or was the initial notice the only one?
The initial notice was the only one since it was a date continued certain of.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Fraser.
Can you pull the slide up for the, so we can see the landscaping? And I guess the ultimate question is there additional landscaping for these north facing here?
Currently, there is no proposed landscaping along the north area. Once the adjacent property develops, that whole north area will be blocked. So in future development, we'll gain some screening from the north.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Kitchens?
Thank you. Madam Chair? All Chair, okay. Shannon, we'll start with you for the city. With this unit being right there at that very busy intersection that we have, that back drive at all, are there any plans for when we develop that north and eastern portions of the lot out for access on those routes? Or is it going to be mainly right off of Village Park?
So currently, we have no application in to further develop the site, but once it does, it'll definitely come before you.
Okay. View High gets real busy around Christmas time, and we have a cutoff that turns people right there at that intersection. I see there's no connections to View High right there. We're not going to put anything on View High, correct? There's no plans to do anything there.
No new curb breaks.
Sounds good. And as View High continues down, we know we don't operate that entire roadway. Obviously, it becomes Kansas City, and they're pretty spiteful with that little piece of road right there, too. Every time we've had a council member talk about putting something in there, they always have some sort of interaction. So the traffic study that goes through there, is that portion of where we're talking to View High across from Fred Urbanus, is that our count we do the city count on that, do we control view high right there, is my question. Roads, sorry.
Susan Berry, City Traffic Engineer. I believe all of View High, except for the intersection at Third, we have the maintenance of that. I would have to check some software, our GIS software, because I don't have access to it right here. But I believe this part is Kansas City.
All
So
right.
they would manage all the access on that.
So that's, that access right there, that road right there is Kansas City. It's a weird road. I get it, Susan. I get it. It's an odd place.
Yes.
That was Pepper.
I'll take this, that this was a good question to ask.
That's correct. View High north of Third Street is Kansas City.
Kansas City,
Yep.
right in front of this sucker, it's
But
Kansas
we
City.
manage the intersection and the signal.
Which intersection? Help me out
Third
there.
Street.
Third
Third-
Street.
Third Street,
So
Longview,
that's
View High.
further south than where we're looking right now.
I think we're trying to get it plugged in so you can see it on the screen.
You're good. I'm looking at it right here. I actually really dig that map that you guys have right there. Let me know whenever you guys are good for the rest of it there, Shannon.
So as you can see, everything in pink is owned and maintained by some other entity, in this case, Kansas City.
So the intersection at Third is only ours on the east side of it.
Yes, but we do manage the traffic signal.
We manage the signal properly?
Correct.
Okay. So if we wanted to expand those roads on View High, we don't do that. That's not our call. We have no.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, real quick, Shannon, thank you, Susan. Appreciate it. As we're looking at the other lots, there's quite a few lots leading up to that Third Street intersection. Those are all Lee Summit C. We go south to where we have 101, 1131, or 11301 is what I should say, all the way down to Third Street. What are they all zoned right now? It's the same zoning, right?
Currently, they're all zoned PMIX, planned mixed use.
With that exception of that Scooby-Doo house on the corner there
Correct.
as R1. Okay, good deal. So they're already zoned PMIX, so that precludes a big question of mine. Thank you very much, Shannon. I do have a question for the applicant, specifically the owner, if he's available to come on up there. Thanks. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate it. Don't worry, we'll tell you if you screw up too. We're not that bad.
Hi, I'm Eddie Mousselet. Got my address?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
18317 Melrose Drive, Overland Park, Kansas, 66103.
Well, you can always move to Lee Summit. It's a great city. With this express stop, are you the patron of other express stops in town?
Yeah, I just opened one on 175th and Flum.
It's actually a world I know a lot about, believe it or not. It's weird. It's a weird world, man. But
Yeah.
I do know that they live and die off of density and things like that and through traffic. How many other ones do you own?
We probably got about, I had 30 at one time, but I'm probably down to about 10. I leased most of them out, but I got like 10 of them right now.
Good on you. All right, so we're doing food through there. How many pumps are you going to have here?
I believe 6.
6 pumps. Okay.
This model right here, if you guys want to see one, if you drive to 175th and Flum, it'll be kind of like this. And we got the coffee drive-through. It's like a new concept. It's got a Subway in there.
Okay, right on. That was my next one. What tenants were you going to put into place? So we're
Yeah,
looking at Subway.
yeah.
Cool. All right, and there's a Subway. Do we have a Subway up there? We have a Subway up there.
Yeah, there's a Subway, but
quicker subway.
Well, yeah, I do stuff like that, like they got like burritos to go and stuff like that.
I get you. Yeah, I used to have a donut shop. We used to deliver to you guys all the time. So
Oh, really?
back in the day, buddy, don't worry. It's not anymore. But all right, thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. Thank you. No further questions, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any,
Yeah, Madam Chairman, may I ask a question for Susan again, real quick? Appreciate you running back up there. So as this part of Lee Summit grows and other developments come into that little area, that little, and if a signal is needed at some point in the future, is it an agreement between you and Kansas City? Or would the planning department say, hey, we need a signal, and then you'd have to negotiate that with Casey Moe to get that put in?
So we work with Casey Moe. If we were to get a development similar to something we recently had, we would have Casey Moe review the traffic study. We would review the traffic study, work together on providing comments. Ultimately, the final say is theirs. It's similar to how we work with MoDOT. We give our input, but ultimate say would be Kansas City.
The same process was just done up.
Yes, just up the street. Mhm.
Thank you, appreciate it.
anyone else with questions? All right, and we'll start with Commissioner Kitchens with comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is a hard one for me. And the reason being is we zoned that PMIX, and I kind of agree with that. But as we move through, that is a corridor which is going to be tricky, just because it is an entrance into the city. We have Longview right there, which is suffering, as we all know. We have that happening all over the city, where we're losing receipts out, so I'm not going to snub my nose at business. But at the same point, that corridor specifically is a multi-jurisdictional area where we have got burned before as a city. So there is one thing to think about as we move forward with these. The fact that he's only putting 6 pumps there is actually why I'm going to be okay with this, moving into it. If it was a big Circle K or Quick Trip or something like that, it'd be a negative over here. I do think that the residents in that area probably would benefit from a gas station, just because otherwise you have to loop around, go back down to 3rd and jump on that, and that's a bit of a headache through those neighborhoods, and it just increases traffic through our neighborhoods. I'd rather they stay on the corridors. Now it being a split, I didn't even think to ask that. Is that split? Do you guys know? Is that split right there? We need to talk about that on a city level, I think, with the library debacle and everything we've got going on. But at the same point, that's not for me to say with somebody on where they want to put their business. I think they did a good job updating it, and kudos to the city for putting markers in, showing the brick on other buildings and the elevations on other buildings related to this. That kind of tied a lot of hands on it, so kudos to you guys. That was pretty well done. But as far as I'm concerned, this is pretty good. It is a tricky corridor, though, so I suggest everybody do a double think about this, see if you come up with any good ideas. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Frazier.
I would second that or agree that it is a tricky corridor, and I can say that because I live in that area. There is another gas station that's up on the corner by the light. I do appreciate the city at least pointing out to us the changes and how they would fit into, say, the other aesthetics of the buildings in the neighborhood. So when I looked at it yesterday, I was like, okay, what did they change? So thanks for doing that. I think I agree. It's a mixture of zoning there. I mean, across the street there's a residence. I don't think it's been sold yet, but the other piece that initially I struggled with was whether it was north, south, east, west facing. So I think they as the adjoining or adjacent properties are developed, if you would, I think there's an opportunity to aesthetically, whether you include foliage or other landscaping, I think that would be my suggestion. But as it stands right now, I think, again, they did a very good job. And I think the residents in the neighborhood will be pleased that at least the ones that are headed north can make a right-hand turn and grab their coffee or whatnot. They supposedly go to the office or whatnot. So I appreciate the changes. Thank you.
Commissioner Lovelace?
I would just say that you guys got some tricky direction on this one. I mean, I think there was, our best attempts to give good direction, but it's still tricky to get direction, an opinion of folks on something like this with elevations. And I think that you guys did a nice job as far as being able to address some of the concerns that were given, at least in my opinion. So I appreciate the developer and the development team going in and making an effort to fit in better with the traditional elevations that are out there. So thank you.
All right, Commissioner Trafton?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I would agree with a lot of the comments that the other commissioners are saying tonight. I appreciate the fact that you listened to the conversation, made some what I think are really good improvements on the elevations over there and how that looks. I don't always, I know that I think that gas station will serve that corridor well, just knowing that a lot of people come in and out of there for the parks department, the softball complex, and everything that's over there, including the golfing. So I think it's some nice improvements, and I appreciate that you guys were able to consider that. And I'll just say this here, I brought it up last time. I think we have a very informed commission and understand the neighborhoods that we're trying to create and the different parts of the community. But I still wonder if there shouldn't be an overlay for this area just so that it's really clear. Because I think with time, sometimes we lose that. And so, for example, downtown, we don't because there's a very specific overlay. So I just think it's something we may want to think about as we move forward. We had a nice developer here that was willing to listen to some input and make some amenable changes that I think will fit in nicely over there. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jana Ford?
Thank you, Chair. There's only probably one concern I have, and it's just the limited directional access, just because we've seen it in several other development areas where it's been difficult to do a UE or what have you, and then the north facade. But after understanding a little bit more about the landscaping plan, I understand that in the end, further down the road, it's going to become a back alleyway, so putting emphasis on that may not be as big of a priority. And then lastly, I do really appreciate the precedents pulling from the surrounding area. I think that's something we should probably just consider when we see previous and updated elevations. It's just nice validity. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Tuzinski?
Thank you. Matt, the owner, thank you. I know that was a contentious meeting. I know you probably thought it was a slam dunk. You came. It wasn't a bad-looking building. It really wasn't. That wasn't really our intent. We really just wanted it to get really closer to the community, and you've done that. And I appreciate our planning department and to help them do that. And so this is the kind of partnership that I love to see come here is the ability for us to give you some comments of how we want things to be. You really think about it. You say, I want to be in this community. Make those changes, and then you come back with something that we really asked for. And I know at the time, Commissioner Benbrook really helped me understand the architecture piece of this and how we get those pieces to come together. And beauty obviously is in the eye of the beholder, right? But this really mimics the community, which I think is great. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioner Benbrook?
Thank you, Chair. Going last, everybody's stolen all the good stuff, so I'm going to say ditto, and you two have my gratitude for working with us on this. I think it fits into the community a lot better. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I guess I would say what everybody else has said, and I really did like those comparisons that you put in the presentation. That would probably help us seeing more of that even on projects that we haven't sent back for for changes. I really like the way that this blends, it blends in very well. Even the sign blends well with the brick, and I really appreciate the applicant being willing to do those changes. So with that, I guess we are ready for a vote. Oh, I'm sorry, for a vote, because we need a motion first. Tried to steal your thunder.
I move for a second reading of application P. No? I motion. I motion for recommend. Okay. I motion for approval of application PL 2024-302, preliminary development plan, Express Stop Convenience Store, 3394 Northwest Village Park Drive, Engineering Solutions, LLC applicant.
Do we need to say recommend
Correct.
approval? Okay.
I need to do it again? Sure. I recommend for approval applicant PL 2024-302, preliminary development plan, Express Stop Convenience Store, 3394 Northwest Village Park Drive, Engineering Solutions, LLC applicant.
Second.
All right, now we can vote on it.
Donnie leaves.
Mark Kitchens,
Yes.
Sherry Frazier,
Yes.
Jake Lovelace,
Yes.
Dana Arth,
Yes.
Terry Trafton,
Yes.
Tanya Jonaford,
Yes.
Chip Jazinski,
Yes.
Randy Benbrook.
Yes.
Okay, the motion
That's okay.
has passed. Now I guess
I will.
we are ready for roundtable. Does anybody have anything? I have a few things. First of all, we have liaisons to EDC and the Cultural Commission, and I've asked Mr. Trafton if he would be interested in EDC, and he has said yes, and Mr. Tazinski has said he would like to be the liaison for the Cultural Commission. I looked at the calendar, I'm thinking the Cultural Commission is on Wednesdays once a month, is that right? And it looks like the third Wednesday, but it looked like they had to move the schedule around a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit in flux right now, but it's typically on the third Wednesday of each month, once a month.
Okay, and CEDC, I said EDC, it's CEDC, they're the first Wednesday of the month. And then, did I say that right? No, is it the second? It is the second, yeah. I wanted you to show up and not have anybody here. And they're 5 o'clock unless they've moved it to, did they move that to 4? Okay.
Yeah, CEDC, I believe, typically starts at 4 now.
Yeah.
And then Cultural Commission is 6.
Okay. Yeah, because I was on it when they moved it to 4 and I forgot one time, so. All right. Shannon said something to me about us doing a tour. Or you said, and I was wondering, could we just come to a meeting early one Thursday night and do a tour of the city market?
Let me confer with David with regards to quorum issues, but definitely we could schedule something.
Okay.
Could we do it before I deliver? Please?
When's that?
I think that's up to you more
It's
than
totally
anything.
up to you, and if you want, since we've ended early, I could take you out tonight.
I'm up for that.
Okay.
I just don't have closed-toe shoes.
Up for that.
It's not, they're done
We
operating
won't
right
look
now,
down.
Literally
I'm
pregnant.
very knowledgeable about site work, so. I don't
There's
know.
other concerns. You're literally pregnant. I think the shoes are a good one.
Okay. And did you have something, Commissioner Tazinski?
Oh, no, I was just going to ask if Shannon could send out emails with that information about the dates of when these committees are.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And
I would ditto that for CEDC, possible, thank you.
One more time.
I'm dittoing what,
I'll include everybody on the communication so everyone's aware.
thank you.
And then one other thing, for a while, when applicants were coming we could see the they were bringing the materials. Did you guys like that, the materials brought in?
Samples? Yes, we instruct all our applicants to bring samples.
Oh, you do? Okay. They just don't always do it? Okay.
If they don't, we can call them out and
Yeah, now we know.
escort them out the building.
Okay, all right. Well, that adjourns the meeting unless anybody has anything at 5:36 PM.